All right, other than spawn fishing, this is probably my other favorite time of the year. And just to kind of run through kind of what we're going to do, leading back to spawning bass. Well, remember I told you the biggest predator that a bass has, besides a turtle, that little deal, is a bluegill. So, how many times you've been sitting there watching a bass, sitting in his guarding his bed or a male or something like that, and a little brim swim, he gonna chase him, out of sight. So the brim aggravates the bass, and now it's time for the bass to aggravate the brim. So this is like one of, my favorite times of fishing is brim start spawning. So the big females, to get their way back to healthy after they've, spawned for so long, is they eat bluegill, and there's a shad spawn and all that stuff. But we'll get to spawning. The first thing they do, a fellow asked me, I can't remember who it was, about where do they go? Oh, it was you. Where do they go when they get done spawning and they start guarding fry? Well, 9 times out of 10, if there's any kind of willow trees in the water, bushes, the back of the pocket, the shallowest, shadiest spot they can find. How many times have you ever been fishing down the bank? The whole pocket will be the whole pocket will be sunny. But there'll be that 1 4-foot section on that bank that's shady. And I'll throw my buzz bait up there or my papa or whatever, as soon as it hits the water, or your frog or whatever you're doing. But that's where they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, the shade in that pocket moves at all times. So you might get that bite one day and then come back the next day and the shade might be down there. So you have to, he's not going nowhere. They're going to stay in that area. So what I'm saying is topwater fishing this time of year is my favorite. But, a bass, they can live in that much water. I mean, it will amaze. Like, I guarantee you, everyone in this room has went by winning stringers of bass and never made a cast to them. Like, your lure never went up there. I ain't throwing up there, too shallow. Yeah, right. I've skipped under boats where it'll be only this much of the boat in the water. The rest of it's on the bank. And you skip under the end of it, dunk, here comes your line, the thing comes swimming out. It'll be a 5-pounder. I mean, he's sitting in that much water. They'll back right underneath there. I mean, they're fine, especially in the summertime. Like when the fish go out deep, and then in the summertime, a lot of those big ones move up shallow because of the oxygen level is a whole lot higher. It might be hot, but the oxygen level is a whole lot better up shallow than it is out deep. But a jerkbait, I don't know why that's up there. No, the reason for the jerkbait at Toledo Bend, on some certain lakes, those fish like a jerkbait a whole lot better. I know John and all the guys were out there a couple years ago when they kind of let that little trick out of the bag, and Chris Lane and Swindle and all those guys was smoking on a jerkbait, and the fish, the tournament was won sight fishing by Dean, but it almost got won by them throwing a jerkbait, catching them and spawning the shad spawn kind of deal. So there's a thing for a jerkbait. So don't ever rule out anything. But probably my favorite is just a regular flipping V&M jig, but all white with a white trailer. White rabbit ears is what I call them. Make it look pretty big, and swimming around docks. That is the funnest deal ever. Or grass or shore grass or anything like that when they get done spawning. The reason, those fish are there to feed, and for some reason that white jig is unbelievable when it comes to that. They'll come out of 6 inches water and just crush it, swimming it through shore grass and around docks and up under willow trees, and anything you can swim around. The other good thing about it is you can cover so much water doing it. It's plus you don't lose very many. When he blows up on that, 9 times out of 10, he's got it.
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip. And for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.